Mark, I know you don't really like to look backwards, particularly in the middle of a season, but it's been taken as a whole the past 2 months, an incredible period, really, and it's given you a great platform for the final third.
Yeah, it has. I think we've seen this as a bit of a block, really. This run of games now. We obviously with the cup games in amongst it, until we probably play Burton in a couple of Saturdays' time. So we go Fleetwood, Bolton, Gillingham, Burton as the next four league games with the two cup games. We get to that point, I think that will be 15 games remaining. So literally the final third or 14 perhaps. So we're sort of trying to get to that point and see what position we're in, number of points that we've got, but we made a nice start to it with the results that we've had. I didn't think Saturday was a classic, but it was fairly comfortable. I don't think they had too many threats on our goal. We had the best chances in the game, had the best chances to extend the lead. And in amongst a busy period, if you can tick games like that off without too much fuss and win them, it's a really good sign that sets us up nicely. So we go to tomorrow, a bit of a free hit against Rotherham, see how we can go. And then back to what I think is a really challenging couple of games now. Certainly the next 7 days to go up to Rotherham, back up to Fleetwood and then up to Bolton is going to be a real challenge and a stretch for us. But it's one that I think we can go into with a real confidence and a real freedom after the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, going into it with the 3 wins is obviously very handy. With Rotherham, you know them well. You've played them twice in the league. We know they're a very good side. Have we seen a bit of a chink in their armour? I know it's away from home that they've lost a couple of games, but inevitably, even when you're going really well, you sometimes go off the boil a bit. Is there a little chink there?
I don't know. I mean, they're really strong. They've got everybody available. Their home form's excellent. I think 8 out of 9 wins at home in the last batch of games. They've had a couple of defeats in away games, as you say. I think that's just part of the course of the season. That's going to happen. People are going to win, lose and draw games. I think we've had 2 really competitive games against them, but been not quite in both games. And I watched Super Sunday yesterday. I saw Tottenham play Chelsea for the 3rd time in quite quick succession, and then bemoan the fact that they've done okay, but they can't quite go over the line against them. So I am by no means comparing us to them or that level, but as a similarity to the story. So let's see if we can get over the line and do something a little bit different this time and get a more positive result than we have done. But performances against them have been great. And we'll go into tomorrow in the best shape we can, put a team out that we think can be competitive and hope the lads go and give what they've been given again.
Yeah, it's clearly different when it's the EFL Trophy, and certainly Rotherham in the last round made a large number of changes, so there will be that difference. But as you say, you can certainly take inspiration from the 2 previous performances, which certainly in the case of the game at the Abbey, I think it would be fair to say right up there with your best of the season.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had some really good games where we've come out the wrong side. Charlton away always sticks in my mind as a top performance where we weren't rewarded with anything. So we know the level we can get to and also the level that you have to get to against these. It's a competition that we've always taken seriously and are doing well in. And we know that we're into the latter stages of it now. So we want to see if we can go another step. But I think we know how difficult that is. I was speaking to Danny and Nicky Cowley in the last round, and both of us were saying, like, we want to get through, but what a lovely tie that is, away to Rotherham when that comes out. Everyone knows it's probably the toughest draw left in it. So that or Wigan. So we know who the favourites are in the competition. I guess we just have to go and see what we can deliver off the back of a tired run of games or a long run of games and re-energise ourselves today to go again. We haven't got huge amounts of players to choose from tomorrow, but we'll make sure that the ones that are there are as ready as they can be and go and give the best account of themselves that we can.
Yeah, I think there's always a sense with this competition that part of the battle is just proving how much you want it and getting the right mindset and looking at that as a challenge. Coming off the back of the Newcastle game, it probably doesn't get any harder than that. And really right throughout your time, not only this season, but last season as well, do you generally feel you've been quite good at getting in the right brain space for these games?
Well, I think you're spot on, Swanee. I see that all the time. I think the mindset for this competition is everything, because you know the atmosphere in the grounds isn't going to be there. You know the crowds aren't going to be there. You know that people don't like the competition. We like it. I love it. I understand why other people don't, but I love it because it's a great opportunity to play. It's often an opportunity for some younger players or players that have been out of the team to play. And it's an opportunity to build consistency. We talk about here trying to drive through a winning mentality, trying to build consistency, trying to build a mentality. We can't do that if you pick and choose your games. and if you just take some seriously and not others. So I think our mindset in this competition's always been very good, whatever team we put on the pitch. And I think you're right, alluding to the Portsmouth game off the back of Newcastle, that was probably our biggest test and biggest challenge. And there's always an argument of don't play your strongest team or as many of the stronger players that night, because it may have a negative impact later on in this month. And that's 100% true. Players will pick up the odd injury, the odd knock, the tiredness and things will take its toll in this run of games, and it might affect our results along the way. But at the same token, I put the 3 wins that we've just had in the league down to that result at Portsmouth. So that was the main thing, building that real good momentum and start to 2022. I massively put it down to the game in this competition and the other cup game as to why we were able to build that.
Let's take a look at the team news. I know you've got a few worries here and there, and maybe in some respects picking the team might be a bit more straightforward as a result. But with Liam O'Neill, he was ill at the weekend, played a big part in the Portsmouth game in the last round. Has he got a chance of being ready for Tuesday?
Yeah, possibly, but I'm not sure he will be. So we'll see how he is today, but I don't think he will be. Probably later in the week, hopefully he'll be back in if he's not about today. In terms of the others, I mean, it is an easy team to pick because it's the ones that are fit and available will play. So it's not too difficult to pick the team, to be honest.
Just talk us through Sam Sherring and Djibril Okadina from the weekend, because that would have been a hard decision. Obviously, you decided to go with Sam. Just talk us through the thinking there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a hard decision, really. Sam can't play tomorrow because he's cut tied. Djibril can. So Jibs will play tomorrow and Sam plays that one. I think we went into the game on Saturday with Jack Iredale really sore in his knee. Sam Sherring playing his 3rd game in a row for a long time, and Djibril having played a long run of games, certainly the previous 2 at right back, which was physically a lot harder for him, knowing the run of games we've got that he's going to play in. It just creates us. We've got 5 fit defenders at the moment. We've got to try and keep 5 fit defenders. So yeah, there's going to be that all the time. When we've got the opportunity to do it, we will chop and change players and rest players out. I think the players have seen that. You've seen Nibsy come in, come out. James Brophy came out against Portsmouth, played the next couple. Sam Smith played 2, came out for 1, went back in the team. And you rely on the lads to just deal with it, because they won't like it half the time if they're not in the team, but you just expect that they're going to respect the teammates, respect that everybody's comfortable and capable of helping us win, and get on with it. Because one, I haven't really got the time for the disappointed players, and that's not what we're about. And secondly, we have to play the long game with the players and keep as many of the players fit as we can. And those boys that have come out of the team, number one, have handled it well, trained properly, been brilliant with the other lads around the team, and then most importantly, when they've come back in it, have shown why they should be in it. So yeah, we've got a small group of players that we're relying on, and we're going to keep rotating around, but a group of players that I think are quite obviously showing everything that they're capable of. With
Sam, presumably you're really happy with the way he slotted in.
Yeah, I think he's had a really good week. To playing 3 wins in your first 3 games is important. To play in a back 4 that's changed a little bit. The fact that Willow for one of them, Djibril having not really played so much at right back the other side. Tough games, difficult conditions. Thought we dealt with Porter really well at the weekend, who's a target who caused us some problems last time. And yeah, he'll only get better, I think, the more he plays and the fitter he gets. But he's made a really good impact on the team, and he's a really good character that has fitted in well. And I think he's really enjoying the start to life that he's made with us.
Do you think it's likely that really until one of Greg or Lloyd are fit again, is Jack set to continue as one of the 2 central defenders, or are you quite open-minded there? Could that change?
Yeah, it could change. I think Dunks is having a really good run of games. I think he's been brilliant. I think Jack's given us a nice platform at centre-half. He's played there well. He's brought a real control with the ball for us. Him and Djibril built up a really good partnership, so it doesn't make you rush to want to change that. At the same time, the attacking qualities Jack can give you as a fullback, so we want that again as well. Sam and Jibs, we haven't seen that as a pairing yet, but I'm sure they could play together. So again, we'll have a look at that at some point. And we know that Willow could play there as well if needed. So it will be a case of shuffling them round and playing the 108th version of a back 4 that we have in 18 months at some point, and seeing how we go.
Cool, that's great for me.
Hi, Mark. Just wanted to ask about some of the younger players. Will they be making the trip tomorrow night, or are you going to travel light?
We might be one light on the bench. We don't want to take necessarily 7 when there's a game in the Cams Invitation Cup against Solom tomorrow. So we don't want too many to miss that could do. I imagine Harvey Beckett, Salima Canby could be with us. Kai Yearn and Glenn McConnell will be with us. So yeah, we'll certainly have a few of those in the squad. We can use 5 subs tomorrow night. So we want the option of being able to do that. So we'll make sure we've got 6 on the bench, and we'll probably have a few of the younger ones travel as well.
You've obviously had quite a lot of injuries over recent weeks. Is there any particular reason that you put that down to at all?
No, I think it's just, if you look across the board, like, I think the majority of reasons games are getting called off up and down the country, or have been, is part COVID, part injuries. And that's a line that's never, ever been used to cancel games. But I think that's a bigger contributor to squads being stretched than COVID quite often. So the definition of that probably needs to change in order to stop that being the case, because you should just play young players in that situation. But I think it's really stretched this season. I've said it before, the last season was incredibly intense. There wasn't a huge gap between the two. This year we've played a massive spell. I think it was 9 weeks of Saturday, Tuesday. Then we've had a few weeks off, and then we're back in that again. So I think just the number of the games is the main thing. And when you look at the types of injuries, they could happen anywhere to anyone at any point. So if there's any injuries that are a worry in terms of a flag for us, Joey done in the tackle, Shiloh done in the tackle, Greg done in the tackle, Jensen just a small problem that we'll overcome, a few bits of illness here and there, which we'll get through. And it won't be too long until a few of those boys are back and available for us. So that will give us a real strength. Once we start to see Liam back, Jensen back, and both contributing on the pitch, I think that'll be really important. Lloyd's not too far away, Shiloh's not too far away. So I think they'll make a nice big difference to the squad when they're back.
You're obviously 2 games away from Wembley now. Does that provide an added motivation at this stage?
Maybe, but I think it's really hard to look beyond just the game that you're playing, really, because you know how tough this game is. So I think the players will be motivated to want to win, because when you are winning and you're playing well, you just want to keep that good feeling going and try and keep that momentum going, whether it's league or cup. So it's a bit of a break from the league games that we've had. I'm sure if we get through the game, it will be something that you start to really think about. And of course, you're closer now than we were 4 or 5 games ago. But at the same time, I think the focus has to be really on the game itself and the challenge. And I think in one way, it helps that we've played them quite recently and played them in quick succession twice already, because you go into the game tomorrow, we haven't got a lot of time to work on them, but there's a very clear idea in your head of what's coming and what they're going to do. So regardless of what team they pick. So we know what we're going into, and looking forward to that test.
Great. Thanks, Mark.